On February 15th, Devin Alexander, CEO and co-founder of Rolling Releaf, a marijuana delivery operator, received the go-ahead from the city to start delivering recreational marijuana to local communities in the greater Boston area.
People go online, go on our website, place an order, and we come right to their door.
Cities and towns within a 20-mile radius may use Rolling Releaf's delivery services.
We want to conquer our backyard of Newton, Waltham, Watertown, Cambridge, Somerville, but we won't go any further south than Quincy, no further west than Natick, and no further north than Malden.
But not all cities and towns within the radius can use Rolling Releaf.
There's cities and towns like Westwood that have, what are called moratoriums in place, cannabis bans, so we can't deliver to towns that have those bans in place.
It wasn't that long ago that marijuana was banned throughout Massachusetts. Back in 2011, at the age of 17 years old, Devin Alexander was arrested for distributing and possessing a small amount of marijuana.
I was the worst person around when I got arrested, but now I'm a bright young entrepreneur and nothing's changed about me. It's really a trip, just to be on the news, winning awards, going out to conventions, doing public speaking, and, having people tell me that I inspire them, and then, they look up to me like, I'm no Tony Robbins, I didn't do all this to inspire people. I just wanted to sell weed legally.
Devin Alexander was able to use the Social Equity Program, a free program that creates sustainable pathways into the cannabis industry for individuals most impacted by the war on drugs, marijuana prohibition, disproportionate arrest, and incarceration.
So I took 16 courses ranging from business plan creation, marketing, accounting.
But the biggest hurdle was finding a place where a Rolling Releaf could call home, among other hurdles along the way.
The big hurdle is finding a city or town that accepts cannabis businesses. And once you do that, you have to find commercial real estate that's zoned in the proper areas. 9 times out of 10, you'll wind up in an industrial park because that's where they have the cannabis zone for. And then you have to, approach the landlord to make sure they're cool renting out to you. Someone like myself can't afford to, buy a building outright, that costs millions of dollars. So you have to be sure your landlord's cool. And it also helps that your landlord, owns their building, because if they're financing their building through the bank, that's another hurdle. And then you want to make sure, they're not hitting you with what we call the green tax. People assume because you're in cannabis, you're out here printing money and that you're a millionaire. So we would go on loopnet.com, look at all the commercial real estate. We would see listings and they would say $3,500, and then we would call them, we would tell them the type of business that we're doing, and it would become $7,000 once they realized we were a cannabis business. So you have to make sure your landlord's cool and he's not gonna jack up the price of rent on you. And then you have to get all those pieces lined up, and then you have to make sure that the city or town that you're in is handing out what they call host community agreements. Host community agreements are contracts between cannabis businesses and the municipality that they're headquartered in, stating that you have to pay 3% of your annual gross sales. So some municipalities, in a way to control how many are there, put a cap on how many of these agreements they hand out. So, back in 2016 when it started, the first ones came online in 2018, but delivery applications didn't come out until 2021. So delivery was kind of at a disadvantage because most of these host community agreements were already taken up by the retail. But luckily, Newton, they didn't put a cap on the amount of host community agreements that they handed out for delivery. But they put a cap of 8 for retail, and that cap was already filled by the time we approached them.
Another aspect in finding a home is providing a positive impact plan in that community for any marijuana establishment license to be granted. Rolling Releaf stated that the Newton Food Pantry is where they'd like to help make a difference.
We're going to make, donations to them as well as volunteer work. And, just because we have that as our positive impact plan, it doesn't mean that we're constricted just to that one thing. If anybody has any ideas and, wants to have some volunteer work, we're all ears and we're open to listen and we're here to help people out. Community outreach is a pillar of what we do for sure.
And keeping it local is what Rolling Releaf does when delivering Massachusetts grown and owned cannabis products.
I've lived in Massachusetts my whole life, and, I really wanted to set it up that, when somebody makes an order through Rolling Releaf, they support 2 local businesses with 1 purchase.
Rolling Releaf is the first Black-owned cannabis business, marijuana delivery operator, and the first social equity certified business to open in the city of Newton. And it opened in February.
I'm making Black history during Black History Month.
More information about Rolling Releaf is available online at rollingreleaf.org, but you must be 21 years of age or older. Jen Adams, Newton News, Nonantum.